respond to a comment I received. I get lots of requests, so this is just one of many. I thought this was really, really well written and really thought-provoking. I felt like it gives you a really interesting perspective on how I do journeys and do energy work for people. So I'm going to go ahead and read this, and then I'm going to share a response, okay? So it says, "Hey, Abby, I have a quick question. I know that in a conscious reality, anything we can imagine exists somewhere. So I totally understand why you would accept and explore every request at face value. So every client session goal, I do read it. I do connect with it energetically, and I do process it at face value. And I'm going to go into what that means exactly, okay? So, however, there are some times when I wonder if you're biting your tongue. For instance, a person wishing to exorcise a demon from their lives. They've paid and have a specific request, and yes, technically, if they fear the demon, then it is real. All right, okay. But do you ever feel like it's your duty to explain that the demon is a part of them, and ridding themselves of it starts by accepting that fact and choosing not to be afraid? Do you ever hear worrying assumptions and misunderstandings in people's requests and choose to correct or redirect them rather than hopping down the rabbit hole? I ask because I feel like a ton of people are motivated by fear, and it's that fear that should be addressed rather than the object of that fear. Do you agree?" Okay. There's so many concepts in this. So many concepts in this. Okay. All right. All right. I would like to ask you a question. So when somebody is speaking to you, how do you respond? You have to respond intuitively. You have to respond by thinking about it and deciding what it means to you, and then respond based on what you have learned or how you feel about what they're saying, based on the most human layer of who you are. When we have interactions with each other, how are we communicating actually? So if you sit down over a cup of coffee with your friend, and your friend is telling you all this stuff, and you're relating to it and telling them all of this stuff, and they're telling you all this stuff, what even drives the ability to communicate? What even drives the ability of this conversation to have a process, have an experience? Where do your ideas come from? Where does your interpretation of what they're saying come from? All right, when I'm in a journey state, I'm not human. So there is a transitioning point when I'm actually reading the client goals. I have a lot of feelings. I have a lot of things that I want to say, but I don't want to just have a human conversation here. I want to go into the journey state and actually see what it looks like beneath the surface of the request. So am I really taking the request at face value, or am I actually shifting between the human reading and sensing, and shifting into an alternate state of being where I'm actually taking a look at this on the energy side of things? What's interesting is what we say on the outside looks different on the inside. And so I can't always respond because I don't exactly know. I don't exactly know until I actually look at what they're saying on the energy side, and then I can interpret it. And yes, I do feel that a lot of the world is about fear. A lot of the world is, and we are afraid. Like, we want to know what to do. We want to know how to overcome our emotional imbalances, these bad habits. We are afraid of what people think of us, or what they're saying behind our backs, or we're afraid to face this conversation, or we're afraid of the energy world. We're afraid of things that we can't understand. We fall into communities of fear as well. And it's all just bouncing around. And where are these conversations coming from? Literally, I could take them at face value. Where is that going to take me? I want to know what's beneath the surface of what you're saying. Because you're saying this, but I need to know what that looks like deep down inside. So I can't actually decide that I know what their real problem is, because I can't know that at the human level. Because all I'm going to do is interpret what they're saying and decide what I think is going to be good advice. But when I'm in the journey state, I will be guided to providing exactly what they need to hear. And when I'm in the journey state, I'm not talking to their conscious mind alone, because the client will eventually watch the video and then experience it at the conscious level, but I'm tuning into their subconscious selves. I'm tuning into something deeper than their conscious mind. So their conscious mind is trying to interpret what's going on inside, or what they think is going on inside, and then they put that into writing, and then I go into that, and then I am allowed to look into that through a new lens of perspective. It has nothing to do with my human mind. It has everything to do with what they need to receive right now. Sometimes I'll go into conversations in the journey state because I'm called to. And it may seem quite strange, because I look like, and I talk like, and I act like Abbey, I'm just myself. But I will tell you that there's times, like for instance, I'll be really tired, but I can flip from the human me into this other me, and it's going to look like me, it's going to sound like me, but I'm a different version of me when I do that. And I'm not working with my mind, I'm working with my senses, I'm working as guided by spirit. So if I have clients that are afraid of demons, let's say, and then I go down the rabbit hole to explore, is this actually a demon? Is this actually your ego? Is this chaos? There's so many different versions of demonic things going on. I can't just interpret it based on what they say. I have to go in and see what's there. So do I need to address their fear? What is their actual fear? I don't know. They're saying that there's a demon, they're afraid of this demon, but really they're afraid of themselves. Really they're afraid of their father. Really they're afraid of receiving love from the world. Really they're afraid of them, it's themselves. Like really they're afraid of apples. Like we don't know until we actually go deeper beneath the surface of what they're saying. This is really important with a human evolution, because we are all reacting to the conversations. We are emotionally reacting. We are just simply responding without taking the time to truly process what other people are going through in a way that we go deeper beneath the surface of what they're saying to truly tune into what is there. So I have no choice but to accept exactly as my clients write it. Then I tune into the threads of energy that I am experiencing when I read it. And those threads become a pathway of divine truth and healing. So I close my eyes, I shift into another state of being. You'll hear me breathing, inhaling and exhaling. And then I am shown, I am feeling, I am experiencing, I am being guided in that state, that alternate state. So yeah. So correct or redirect them. I would like to ask you another question. Have you ever tried to correct somebody based on your interpretation of what is best for them, and they don't hear you? So how do you really correct somebody, So I can't necessarily, I literally have to be tuned into my gift and my talent to truly speak to someone's soul. And the only way to truly help people is at the soul level. And I would love to see the human race evolve into being able to communicate soul to soul. But how do we do that with the working through the balance of all these chakras and all these memories and all this conflict over generations of time, etc. It takes time, Anyway, thank you so much for this awesome comment. I actually tried to write you a response, and I was like, oh God, this is going to take me forever, and I don't even know if I'm going to be able to put it all into words exactly. So I had to write that down and then come back to it and just share a message to you about this. It was just such a fantastic question. I really appreciated it so much. Thank you very, very much so much for watching and supporting me and for writing these awesome comments. And thank you all, everybody on YouTube, everybody on Patreon. Thank you so much for your love and support. Thank you for everything you share with my life. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you enjoy it, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, share it with people. Let YouTube know that I'm freaking awesome. All right. Have a wonderful day, everybody.